there. Hello there from the center stage with the boxes. It's Begalius. How's it going, everyone? I realize I haven't posted on here for a while, and there's a concrete reason for that. I've been very busy, trying to get everything done. So that kind of explains why I hope I'll be able to make a video on the beta when I get a chance to play it. But if not, then sorry. The video on the beta probably won't be that long if I cover as much as I plan to cover in this video. But I've been looking at COD Next. I've been looking at the gamers playing Black Ops 6. There's gameplay. There's people playing. Unfortunately, they're doing the stupid streamer thing they always do. I hate it. It annoys me. Yeah, goofy ass box on the side of every bit of gameplay. And obviously, if I have spliced game from Black Ops 6, which I plan to do so, Game Frey, as I just said it, it's going to be borrowed from other people, and I will leave the videos in the whatever it's called, the description. That's the one. So I've screen recorded some of that, and I'll probably splice some of my own gameplay from other games, Call of Duty games, in there too. But yes, Black Ops 6. What do I think? It's Call of Duty. It's definitely Call of Duty. Interesting thing is, from what I can tell, this is the first Call of Duty game since Cold War that isn't just identical in every way to Modern Warfare 2019. This is actually different. It's more like Cold War. And I know, well, it's a Treyarch game, obviously. It's going to be more like Cold War. But I had a feeling that what they were doing with the Call of Duty formula was they were just all going to go with the 2019 formula. And that the reason Cold War was slightly different was because development started earlier, blah, 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 and all of that. But no, this looks as though it's a lot of Cold War at its roots, the animations. Seem a lot more Cold War-esque. The overall visual language of the game feels very Cold War. But you can tactical sprint in this one, so that sort of adds an air of Modern Warfare. But they've changed the animation to it honestly, I think a little bit of a less realistic one, to where like the hand sort of waves around a bit. It's a little bit more cartoony, and I honestly think they did that just to separate themselves from the previous games, just to have something to stand out a little bit. I like the visual language of Cold War, and so I'm happy with this. I mean, it's going to be a game set in the 90s, so I'm already kind of on board with that. And I think overall visually it looks pretty good, but not too dissimilar from all of the other Call of Duty games. This isn't groundbreaking. From what I can tell, they haven't done anything crazy or new. Honestly, from what I can tell, I think this is going to be a bit of an apology from Call of Duty. And an apology specifically to people who didn't like the way that Call of Duty was going in the last previous years. Which, honestly, for me, this apology isn't targeted at me, because I actually liked what they were doing with Call of Duty. But there are a few things that they are working on in this game that I'm very happy about. For example, prestige mode. Classic prestige mode is back, you bastards. Let's freaking go. Let's get a poggers in the chat. Donate £1 billion to me, because his prestige mode is back. 1 to 10. You prestige 10 times. From what I can tell, once you've reached 10, you can go up to level 1000. But yeah, this is classic freaking prestige mode. I'm so fired up about that. That's absolutely awesome. You don't have to wait until next season to prestige any further than you were in season 1. The whole time you can go from 1 to 10, and that is badass. I'm sure they'll add some prestiges in the future, but currently classic prestige. And from what I've heard, they're going to theme every prestige around a different Call of Duty game. I think that's a really fun idea. I really like the idea of that, like a Modern Warfare 2 Master Prestige logo for Prestige 3 or whatever. I think that's a really cool idea. And other things, for example, you can play around with the HUD. You can alter the HUD now. You can edit it, which is really cool. I think that's a really cool idea. It definitely flies in the face of some of the previous Call of Duty games that have been coming out, where people are complaining about, like, where the minimap is and what a function it has and all of that. It seems as though that they don't really care. That's not really, they're not fussed with this game. You put the HUD wherever you want. From what I've heard, you'll be able to customize reticles again. Awesome. I love that. And that seems to be the general path that this game is heading on. It's like, well, we're sorry for taking things so seriously for the past few years, and we're not going to do that this time. This is going to be honestly a fun loving Call of Duty game. Now, whether that makes it any good is yet to be seen, but that does seem to be the path they're going down. You can even tell from like the menus with the honestly, it kind of reminded me of the college football 25 menus, where it's like the paper, the shredded paper and stuff like that. There's a lot of that going on, a lot of the declassified stuff. It almost feels like the moment that Treyarch went from Modern Warfare 2 to Black Ops 1, where it's like, okay, here's this game that takes itself very seriously. There's like a military game. We're going to have fun with it. We're going to get a little bit goofy with it and have a good time with it, but not to the point where it's just silly and over the top like it was with Black Ops 3 and certain aspects of Black Ops 4. And I think that's good. And ultimately, the game plays like Cold War, and Cold War is the game, believe it or not, I couldn't believe this when I sort of thought about it. Cold War is the Call of Duty game that I played the most. I have never played a Call of Duty game more than that. I think I got to like Prestige 8, which I've never done in another Call of Duty game, which is crazy. So clearly I like the gameplay. And with the addition of Tactical Sprint, I think that's great. The maps look okay. A little bit unimaginative, honestly, for Treyarch. Treyarch tend to bring like the fun maps with cool elements here and there, like, oh, and you can go down a fucking water slide or something, but that doesn't seem to be present here. They seem to be the sort of typical, Call of Duty maps. So almost like a cross between Treyarch and Infinity Ward here. There's one map that looks like one of the maps from Modern Warfare 2022. I'm not even going to try to name it. The one that's set where there's it kind of looks like post-apocalyptic. It's weird. It's hard to explain. It kind of looks like that. Yeah, although I will say that there was one cool map that came out of all of this, and it's what I talked about. I think I talked about recently with the like voting thing, where it's like deeply political. It looks as though it's like an actual like Congress room or something like that. I don't know what they call them in the US, and I think that's quite cool. It feels a little bit throwback to be shooting in an area like that, like a sort of very overtly political, and in this case 90s political area. I think that's really that will make for a cool map, but it seems as though it's a little bit small. I hope it's not one of those 2v2 maps, but I don't think it is. I think it's a little bit too big to be a 2v2 map. Aside for the rest of them, I mean, they're okay. But that's the thing about that was the thing about Cold War. I think I said the same about the Cold War maps, but it actually turned out to be pretty good. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, those are my thoughts on that. I will let you know what I think of the beta if I get the chance, and if I get the chance to play the damn thing this weekend, then I'll let you know. And if not, or even if so, I'll see you all later.
The PlayStation is only $149, and you can also get leading titles.